Finally, I'm not teasing anymore. Well, it's crazy things that I've done in my life. And you too, you have to tell me yours. I tell you mine, you tell me yours. This is starting, and I have a story for you. Crazy, not particularly stupid thing that I've done in my life. So stay tuned. I think you'll enjoy. And we're also talking about a couple of other things. It is crazy hot, way up in the 90s. I shouldn't even be out here because it's 1:15 in the afternoon, worst part of the day to be out here. And I'm not even going to talk about makeup, except that I do have my setting spray on. Thank you, Ryan, and I think it's helping a little bit. I have just transplanted some celosia, and I've planted some marigolds, little tiny marigold plants around the garden. They say that's good to be able to keep the varmints away. The marigold scent is too strong for various bad animals. So Aiden is helping to do some transplanting and moving things around for Moosey. And I have this real good medicine for my tomato plants. I must have 6 tomato plants that are 3 feet high, real green. I do have lots of yellow buds, but I'm not getting a lot of tomatoes. I have a couple of tomatoes that are golf ball size on there, but I should have some big guys. So we're using this special medicine to give them a boost to make them grow. I think if I took this hat off right now, my hair would just fly up, but maybe I'm going to do it. I don't think I need it here. Oh. Whew. That's okay. We're okay today here. It's not a good hair day. It's probably not even a good makeup day, but let's go on. Well, I think that the video that you've all been saying, hey, you're teasing us with the crazy stupid thing video, and I've done that for 3 videos now, and I'm going to start today. Several of you have told me some great stories that you have done in your lifetime, things that you've blurted out, things that you've done on impulse that I would consider brave. Okay, here we go. About 3 weeks before Christmas, I looked at my front door and it was very faded. The original red that I had painted several years didn't look so red anymore, and I wanted to brighten up the door. And that day, I was gathering some greens up on the hills for my mantle and various. I was in a real Christmassy mood. And when I went to put a Christmas wreath up and put all I dug out from my Christmas tubs all my poinsettias that I've had, poinsettia plants, not real ones, for a long time. The leaves were pinky. They weren't bright red anymore. And I thought, no, what can I do to spruce this up? So I did go into my shed and I found a can of red spray paint. And I thought, that's what I'll do. I'll spray paint the leaves on my plants. And so as right there by my front door, as I was setting up all my poinsettia plants, I sprayed red, bright red. Oh, they came out beautiful. And if you want to go back and look at that, it was a couple of weeks before Christmas. And just this past year. And they looked beautiful. And then I shook the can and I still had some more red paint in there. I thought, oh, I'll spray my door. And there I was, not in paint clothes, it was an impulse. And so I started spraying the door, didn't block off the white walls around it or the plant on the bottom or the little bit of the transom at the bottom or the cement. I did get some of that out. So I sprayed and it kept going and going and it really did a good job. Actually, it did the whole door. I was surprised. Got a little bit white on the white of the window and a little bit on the sides of the white walls. But the door looked great. I was so happy. So then I thought, oh gee, maybe I have some white paint and I can fix these walls on the sides of the door. So I went back in the shed and I found another can of spray paint. And this paint is old too, by the way. But you know how you shake up a can of red paint and you shake it and you hear that ball inside, and that's supposed to be good. That means you're shaking it up. So I did, actually, I think I held a piece of cardboard so I wouldn't spray the red again, but I did spray around both sides of the door and pretty much got the white okay. A little bit of white got here and there, but I fixed it. It all happened the day that I was spraying my front door red. It was an impulse. It was a couple of weeks before Christmas, and I found this can of red paint in there and just started spraying. And then I got it all over the walls. So you can see that I started spraying white around here. Oh, I still had some white paint left in the can. And now I'm going to tell you a story that goes back probably a couple of weeks. So I stood there with this can of white paint in my hand that was still had some left. And I remembered a place where I thought I could use it. Well, about 3 weeks before this incident, I was pulling into Del Taco one morning for my usual iced coffee and egg and cheese quesadilla. You know, my fave breakfast. And after I talked to the nice lady on the speaking box, and you go around, you follow the driveway around, there's a curve, so that silly people who aren't watching themselves don't hit the curbs or the sides of the building. They have these red cement poles here and there. And sometimes they're bright red or bright yellow. Well, these happen to be red, and they were right on the corner, and I think there were probably 4 of them. I'm going to go into Del Taco a little bit later because Moosey wants a little drink from there. So when I finish this video, I'm going to take a picture of this, of what I'm talking about, and put it on your video for you. That's it. That's the one that did it. All the way up and down. So as I went around, I was so anxious and thinking probably about something else. I cut it too close, and I scraped along all 4 of these red cement things on the side of my car. And I thought, oh gee, shouldn't have done that. And I kept going and pulled up and didn't, get out of, didn't accept my driving or anything. It's just, I knew I had scraped along there, but I didn't think anything about it. And I got my order, went home, had breakfast with Moosey. I did get Moosey his too. He always gets his donuts too. And I bet it wasn't, maybe I didn't go anywhere for a couple of days. And about 3 days later, I went out to get in my car to go somewhere. And for some reason or other, I happened to look down. Now, where I scraped, now I have a van. It was not so much the van door, part of the van door, but then extending toward the back of the van. And there was an area of red, bright red scrapes, 3 feet long, and probably this wide, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 big long stripes like this, 3 feet long on the whole side of the car. I thought, oh my gosh, what happened? What did I do? Somebody must have swiped me. I never even thought of the Del Taco incident. I thought, who swiped me? some red car came by and just did this. And as I was standing there looking at it and figuring out how this happened, it occurred to me that, perhaps this happened with my Del Taco run a couple of days ago. I looked at it and I thought, Moosey never noticed it because he never goes to my side of the car anyway. And nobody else noticed it because he didn't go anywhere with the car. Except I did find out later that Shannon had seen it and thought that I had had an accident with a red car and scraped a red car, that I did something to a red car. And so I looked at my can of spray paint. I've had this car, I don't know, 9 years, 10 years, I don't know. It's been, thank the Lord, so good to me. I don't have a ton of miles on it. I only have maybe 82,000 miles on it for having it so long. It's an older car. I love it because I can thrift and bring home stuff. As you know, I love my stuff. And I can take grandkids out. It has the 2 sets of seats in the back. I can put all kinds of stuff in the back. I even keep things at Christmas time in the back. It's kind of my storage room. When it rains, I put cushions in the back. I love my van, and I've always said, I pray to God that my van outlasts me. I don't want another car. I don't need a new car. I love my van. So I thought, I don't know what to do about this, but I was standing there with this can of paint. And this all happened the day that, no, it didn't. So as I stood there a couple of weeks before Christmas, I think I might have driven that car maybe the rest of the week with the red paint on it. Nobody noticed it except Shannon. She was the only one that noticed it. So this all happened right before Christmas too. So as I stood there with my half-filled still can of paint, I thought, this is white paint. It's a satin, sort of a glossy a little bit. Why don't I just try and cover this up? So I went over to my car. Can you imagine any of you spray painting your car with a can of paint? Now, maybe it works better on a white or a black car, but I certainly wouldn't try it on colors. Now, don't do this, please. Nobody, I don't want anyone to try this, please, okay? It's just some stupid, crazy thing that I did that happened to turn out okay. So I'm giving it away. So I sprayed. I started off at a little small area, and it looked good, and I thought, okay, let me go a little farther, and I went, and I did this whole area, the spray. It was not a windy day. It covered it up almost to the point where, I mean, you could see a slight little tint of maybe a little pinky through there, but nobody would know. You wouldn't say, oh, what's under there? So I spray painted my car and covered up a big boo-boo. Right here, all the way back, I had scratches from here to here, red streaks all across the car from my little morning trip to Del Taco for my egg and cheese quesadilla one morning. Now you can see the redness underneath. This is where I sprayed one day on impulse, right across here. Can you see up close? It's fading, but I did a pretty good job. What a crazy idea I had that day. Really, it's a lot better than it was. There's a little bit of shade here today on the car, but you really can't see the streaks at all. Maybe out in the sun you see a bit of the pink. I'm going to drive by Del Taco and show you what I actually slid by. You wouldn't believe it. Now, I don't know whether this was the can or not, but I had a great spray can that I picked out of my stash in the shed and just started painting. This might have been it. Whatever I put around the front door, I put on the car. Can you believe it? Let's see if it works here. Oh my goodness, it does. Wow. Whatever I did here. I'm on a mission now. I think I'm going to spray that, just cover it working so well. Maybe it's not such a stupid, crazy idea. Okay, I protected the tire, and now I'm going to spray. Watch. Oh, looks like a good job. Don't do what I do, just in case it doesn't match. But for me, it worked, ladies. That was what? Crazy that some old lady would take a can of spray paint and wipe out a whole bunch of red paint that she had messed up her car with, instead of taking it and having the whole car repainted or fixed, and probably would have cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I was not interested in that. So no one ever noticed. And it's funny because Shannon, several days later, said, you fixed it, or you had it fixed. And she told me, she said, I saw that, Nanny, and I thought that you swiped a car. So it turned out okay. That's my first story of something crazy stupid that actually turned out great. And guess what? I have a little something to add. Today, this morning, I don't know why I had the white paint out, but I looked at it and it looked a bit pink. And I thought, let me see if I can still find that paint can. And I sprayed on top of it, and now you don't see it really any pink at all. And I also found another part on the other side of the car where someone must have not hit me, but scraped by and did something over the paint on my back wheel. I've shown you, I actually took a picture today. I took a video today, and I'm showing you how I actually spray painted it, and it took all the black scraping away. So in my case, this little trick worked for me. So that's my first story. There's a saying that I always applied to myself as a school teacher, and I'm sure that many teachers follow this rule, that if a child is not learning, it's not necessarily the child's fault. The teacher should change her method of teaching that particular child, because all children do not learn the same way. And that's something that we learn in our studies as we're learning to be teachers. There are so many different ways that children learn, and you have to know that and recognize it. Well, I'm going to apply that a little bit to my YouTube. As a creator, you keep up on the analytics, and you watch and you see what people are enjoying, and you do have a page that keeps track of each video and how it's doing and how many people are watching and what they like and what you don't. And what they say to do is to go back and compare the videos that were the ones that your viewers absolutely loved, because you'll notice that the viewership was way up. Well, so far as subscribers, we've been pretty stagnant now for quite a while. And when I go back, we have, what, 53.8 something. And it's been that way for a long time. It goes up, it goes down, and when you look, and that's to be expected. There's every month, every week, every day, there are viewers that either drop out or YouTube drops them for one reason or other if they're not active. I think that might happen. And I suppose people subscribe to you a long time ago and maybe just don't care to watch you anymore. And I guess that happens to me, that I watch somebody for a long time and then I don't for a while. And that's natural. But at the same time, you should be acquiring new viewers as you go along, because it all depends. As they say, the YouTube has an algorithm that if they see that viewers are watching and like it, and it's a good video that takes off right away, then they will send your video out to more people like you that are enjoying these videos. Now, this is getting to be a long story, but the point is, I don't know whether that's happening, and I would like to keep that going. Now, someone once said, well, Nanny, be satisfied. You have a nice subscribership, and we all, you have a lot of viewers every time. Yes, I do, and I am so grateful for all that. But there's also that, that things that you spend a lot of time on and you're very invested in yourself, and you have passion for them. You want to be successful. It's just part of you that you want to help people, especially that's what my viewership here is all about, and me trying to give you value of things that I think might help you. And it's not just that viewership of older women like myself. As they say, the older you get, the more invisible you get. And there's a stereotype about all that. As you know, we've talked about that before. Or, how you feel as a person. I don't feel invisible, believe me. But the stereotype of a super ager is, well, maybe they just don't have too much to offer anymore. And I don't think that's true anymore, because there are other super agers who seem to be acquiring new people all the time. So maybe it's something that I should switch around, like with my teaching. Maybe, and I do read a lot of these tutorials, all these people that tell you how to improve your viewership and whatever. And it talks about your thumbnail, that picture that you see right away people should just want to watch your video right away. And also your title, you have to be clever. And I try very hard to see that, but I've had the same type of a thumbnail for a long, long time, pretty much ever since I started. And I don't know what made me decide to do screenshots and put them up sort of as photographs on my thumbnail. And I think I might change that, just because I think we're ready for a change. And it's just part of my teaching technology. Maybe it's time for the creator, the teacher, to change her way of doing things. So there's going to be a few little changes like that. And so many times I've asked you, what do you love? What do you want me to do? And you tell me, oh, just keep doing what you're doing, Nanny. But there are certain things that people seem to love when I go back. You all seem to love the makeup, the hair, and a lot of people say, no, that's not my favorite. My favorites are cooking or gardening, and yes, I love that, and I will always include a little bit of that too. Maybe too much family stuff, because not everybody has big families, but that is part of us. But I could lessen that up. But when I look back, those biggie virals that I had were the thinning hair and me trying to help you if you have problems just like me. And this is what I do, the products that I use, like my Nivea, my Vaseline, and what I use. Now, certainly, I have my problems with dry skin, and my arthritis starting to affect myself. A lot of things like that that are not perfect about me, but I do love um, makeup. Am not a I am not a pro by any means, as you all know. I have made so many boo-boos in trying to learn this game of doing things right, and I probably still don't. But I think I've settled on something that makes my face look natural, that pleases me, and it's not too much. And maybe I'll stick with it, unless every once in a while I learn a new trick, like my granddaughter taught me with the setting spray. So, once again, tell me, do you think perhaps I should niche down? That word niche is something that all the people that do tutorials talk a lot about. And some people just stick to that one thing and become very successful. Maybe I'm missing the boat on that. Maybe I'm too spread out all over the place. I don't know, but I sure would love to. And it's just something within me, only because I do spend so much of my time. I dream about, and it's not bad. I need this, by the way. It's my extracurricular, something that fulfills me, because I think I'm helping people, at least from all your comments. At least I think I am. And as you know, I'm a caretaker to my husband, and I spend a lot of time with Moosey in those areas, or just doing so many things by myself that normally if there were two people, you know, you'd have a little less work to do. And it does tire me, but my relaxing time, believe it or not, even though it does take a lot of my time, is putting this YouTube together. So enough of that. What do you think of switching things around a little bit, doing something a little different, and perhaps that might attract some new people? What do you think? And it's not that I'm not grateful for all of you who have been so loyal, watching me for so long. I am grateful, believe me. Don't make mistake that, please. Now, that was such a long story, a rabbit hole story that went along with it. I think we only have time for one today. So anyway, I will, next one, I do want to talk with you about another subject in the next video, and it has something to do with aging, of course. I am a super ager, and I think I have a lot to offer in this age group to not only people like myself, but younger people too, who might want to think about what they want to do or be when they get to this age. So the next video, we're going to touch on that. And I'll include another one of my crazy, stupid things. No, I'm not going to call them stupid, because this was a good one. My car looks pretty good right now. Crazy, amazing, stupid things that you do. And I will include that at the end of almost every video if I can, and keep the stories a little short. Thanks so much for watching, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this. And don't forget to tell me of the things that you've done that you thought were crazy, maybe stupid, maybe great, but I'd like to hear them. And I would encourage all of you viewers, my friends, to read all the comments too, because that's all part of all of us being a family on this particular channel. And that's what I want it to be. So in the meantime, check your subscriptions just to make sure you're still subscribed. And if you would like to, you could share, tell someone else about this. And anyone who has not subscribed, if you enjoyed this, think about joining us and subscribing. See you soon. Hope that it's a cooler day. Love you, my friends, and God bless us all.